I don't know about you, but I often lust after programs that have an exotic or a great sounding name. What is in a name? Naming is a huge part of your branding, and it espouses how someone is going to feel about your program, your book, your course, your website, how you call yourself. A lot goes into the psychology of naming for the purposes of branding. Hi, I'm Salma Jaffrey, and you are watching Content Marketing Tips, the weekly marketing show to watch for non-icky, non-spammy, authentic marketing advice for entrepreneurs. Think about naming your business, your brand, your product, your book, whatever it is. I'm going to give you some examples. Nikki Elledge Brown calls herself the communication stylist. Would she have the same effect, and would you think about her in the same way if she called herself Nikki Elledge Brown, the copywriter? Mari Smith is the self-crowned queen of Facebook. Would she have the same effect if she called herself a Facebook specialist? When you think about passive income, you think about Pat Flynn, because his blog is called the Smart Passive Income Blog. And so when somebody asks you, how do you make money online? How can you make money passively online? The first person you think of is Pat Flynn. So what's in a name, really? Branding your programs is not something new. But these entrepreneurs are taking it to a whole new level. They are branding not just their businesses and their books and their websites, but they are branding their techniques, their strategies, and even their advice. For example, Derek Halpern, he makes videos about social media and about getting an audience. So in his promos and everything, he says that I'm going to show you how to get major press using something called the drafting technique. And everyone's like, ooh, what is this? It's like a big secret, right? Because you're like, it arouses your curiosity and you want to know what this technique is, and it makes it memorable. And it's a great, great way to brand your advice, to name it. So how can naming psychology help you stand out in business? When you name your stuff, the first thing it does is it makes it memorable. And everyone identifies names with the people who create those names. So the first thing you have got going for you is memorability by naming your programs. The second thing that naming does is that it positions you as an expert that people want to learn from. So when you want to learn passive income streams, you go to Pat Flynn because he has positioned himself as the go-to expert because of his naming style. The third thing that a name does is that it arouses curiosity. In a previous video, I talked about the halo effect, and that got people talking about wanting to know, what is this? Same thing which Derek Halpern does, the drafting technique. It arouses your curiosity, a very natural human function, and we want to know more about what this secret technique is, what this particular strategy is. The fourth thing that naming does is that it allows things to get shared more frequently. People talk about stuff that have cool sounding names more than they do about stuff that has generic, boring sounding names. And finally, naming your stuff makes it sound like a fun thing, right? When you name things, it just sounds more interesting and it attracts more of an audience to you than perhaps you wouldn't be able to attract if you hadn't named it. So a couple of examples that I'm thinking of. Kimra Luna, her program is called Be True, Brand You. Great example of naming. Or Laura Roeder, she used to have a program called Creating Fame. I love that name. Or Ramit Sethi goes with Learn How to Make 1K on the Side. Now, each of these is a descriptive, is an intriguing, is a curiosity-building name for their programs, but perhaps the entrepreneur that does it the best that I've seen, at least in the online world, is Marie Forleo. She names everything. I mean, she sort of names the heck out of everything, right? And her brand has become synonymous with certain key phrases that she uses in every single video, in every single blog post, perhaps even in every single interview. So some of the ones that come to mind right away are, everything is figure-outable. If you hear that phrase, you know you're talking about Marie Forleo. Everything is figure-outable. Another one that she does is the business smackdown, where she gives tough love to small business owners. And so you can see that, you tend to start to associate these naming phrases with certain entrepreneurs who make them just come alive. And so when you're thinking about naming your program, what are the key criteria that you should keep in mind? Here's a quick list. So your name should ideally be short. It should be memorable. It should espouse your brand's personality. And if possible, keep it evergreen and non-generic. So that was my advice for you to name your programs, name everything, name your advice, name your strategies, put a name on it. Now in the comments below, I would love to hear what you thought of this strategy. Can you make it work for your business? Are you thinking of some cool sounding names for your next course, for your next program? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I would love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you got any sort of value out of this video. And if you want to have a more deeper relationship, then I would love it if you subscribe to my email list, salmajaffrey.com/subscribe, and you get this free ebook. It's a guide, an ebook, a PDF, all rolled into one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Content Marketing Tips. If you like it, then you should have put a name on it. If you like it, then you put... the mic fell. Okay, that was really bad. Don't put it in.